Malas noticias, hasters. Se acabaron las ilegalidades. Ya no podremos utilizar el evento para sacar logros difíciles.
¡Quedan los logros! ¿Qué me estás contando? ¡Quedan los logros!
Capítulo número 3 de los 10 años de Payday. Este episodio se llama El Impacto.
One of the more funny memories is that we were at the Tokyo Game Show, and somehow, I can't remember how, we got in touch with Harada-san. And if you don't know who that is, he's the producer of Tekken, the fighting games. He told me he was such a big fan of Payday and that him and the team were playing it all the time, and every time he'd be at an airport waiting and wasting time, he would just boot up Payday on his laptop and rob a bank. And I thought that was so cool.
Recuerdo esta foto.
Heisters in
Recuerdo haberlo visto en Twitter en el momento que la publicaron. Tenían que haber hecho algún guiño con este hombre, que además le gusta meter muchas coñas en sus juegos y seguro le hubiese hecho ilusión salir en un juego de payasos atracadores. The
community to us is incredibly important. You cannot have a game that lasts for this long without a community. The game would just be dead in the water without our players. So, it's incredibly important. We wouldn't be where we are without them.
Hey guys, good morning.
The bet is going off.
And I am going to shave my beard off because I lost the bet. Community managed to...
Over the years, my role, like my individual role, at Starbase has changed rapidly. Originally, I was a producer on Payday the Heist, the Wolfpack DLC.
Boat is fully repaired. We'll send our guys over right away.
And then on Payday 2, we developed that game together with the crew and put it out the door. But since then, I've become the guardian of sorts of the Payday IP and the players and some kind of internal
Guardián, no sé si es Almir listo, pero es la cara visible. Piensas en Overkill y él es la cara de Overkill. Aunque luego él no tome quizás decisiones importantes. Él no es el director de Payday, ni es el dueño de la franquicia. Pero sí que se encarga del branding. Y se le da bien porque es muy reconocible.
Representative together with the rest of the community team, Elisabeth and Sebastian.
Thank you so much, every heister out there, for supporting us throughout all these years. 7 million heisters, that's the largest community on Steam.
A lot of my time is spent reading what you, the community, are talking about. I will read the Steam forums to see what kind of topics are being discussed at the moment. I will go on Twitter, see what people are tweeting at us, see what people are tweeting about us.
Oh, y este Bari. Me encanta cuando sale.
If you ever were a person who wrote one of those, here's the 10 things I want to see in Payday 3 lists on YouTube or the Steam forums or anywhere else really, that probably has gotten in a document of mine.
A community showing interest means that they will be very vocal about their opinions, and they have a lot of good ideas.
I've been following you and your crew for some time now.
El malo de Far Cry.
It's quite impressive what you did with the election, with such poor planning. I have no idea what you're talking about.
One thing that I think we have learned now is that once you release your game, it's no longer your game. That's the community's game.
You showed up.
I always show up.
So you need any more convincing?
One group of players in particular needs a shout out, and I think that is the modders out there.
There's a lot of incredibly talented mod makers out there that keep things. That's where the really wacky stuff comes in.
Me encanta.
They've done such an incredible job over the years in helping us along the sidelines, improve Payday as an experience for the rest of the community.
Realmente yo creo que la comunidad de PC sería menos fuerte si no fuera por los modders. Los modders, la verdad es que han dado una capa mucho más interesante al juego y mola un montón ver las cosas locas que son capaces de hacer. Cosas que Overkill no se atreve a hacer pues porque destrozarían el juego. Pero es muy divertido meterlo y pasar un buen rato con mods. Por ejemplo, los demás amigos nuestros del canal tiene unos mods geniales y ahora se está a tope con los llaveritos. Está haciendo de todo.
And I think that's such a cool thing that these players, they usually don't have the time to play the game themselves because they spend their time making tools and stuff and content for other players to enjoy who play the game. And that's where they find their enjoyment.
You see, I need my payday.
¿Otra vez? ¿El malo de Far Cry?
2.
Payday 2 modding community is massive. There's just so many things in the modding you can do. People are like, years ago, people weren't making their own heists. Now people are just making their own whole levels. They're doing their own voice acting. It's just like such a big part of the community now.
Titan, ¿para cuándo tu propio atraco? Queremos verlo. Termínalo. Empiézalo. Me hubiese encantado ir a un crime fest de estos.
Find friends through this. They can, you know, match make with anyone and end up and play with anyone, and then maybe they actually have fun together, and they can, okay, let's play one more time together, and let's be friends on Steam together, and then suddenly, you know, they actually formed some kind of friendship, and they go to one of the events and E3 dressed in cosplay, and that's very powerful.
So many of the people closest to me in my life that I wouldn't trade for anything, as well as the Rusty Chains community that we've built from our streams and our Discord and stuff, all stems from Payday.
I have friends here in Melbourne that I've met through Payday that I go out and just hang out with.
It's been really cool to interact with all the different content creators, but also make friends through the game. I think that's something that I really do owe it to Payday 2 for allowing me to do that. I think it's fantastic. And it goes back to what I said about community. You know, there are so many lovely and welcoming people who play the game that you do feel right at home.
Es muy bonito esto que ha creado Payday. Nosotros somos comunidad, gracias a Payday nos ha unido Payday, y veo que no solo es en nuestra comunidad, la de YouTube, la de Discord que tenemos también, sino también a otra gente le ha nacido ese sentimiento y ese sentimiento de unión. Mola un montón que un juego pueda conseguir estas cosas. ¡Oh! Otra vez este Bari. El episodio se llama Impacto, el impacto. Pensaba que iba a ir sobre otra cosa, pero al final ha terminado siendo algo mucho más simple, que es precisamente la comunidad, el impacto en la comunidad. Han creado una comunidad y además muy fuerte. Aquí tenemos el calendario. Hoy hemos tenido el episodio 3. Mañana habrá directo a las 7 de la tarde. Yo no podré verlo. Bueno, a las 6:30 hora española. Quizás un poquito por encima, pero no podremos verlo en directo, que es lo que molaría realmente. Y también tendremos el episodio número 4 de esta serie. Y el último. En el stream yo tengo esperanzas de que suelten algún bombazo. Comenten alguna cosilla sobre Payday 3. Quizás lancen en ese instante de ese anuncio el Crime War. Yo lo estoy deseando. Quiero que vuelva ese juego. Y ya no nos quedarían más días especiales, salvo el 28, que quedaría una semana a partir de hoy, para anunciar al ganador del concurso. Que por cierto, intentamos hacerlo en directo y no nos salió del todo. Esta es mi propuesta. ¿Lo presentamos? Yo creo que va a ganar. Yo creo que ganaría. Pero algo tendremos que hacer, algo mandaré. Igual también para el museo de artistas de fanarts, quizás mande alguna cosilla. Igual mando lo del póster. No lo sé, algo mandaré, algo haré. Nada, haters, nos vemos en el próximo vídeo y un saludo, cuidaos y hasta pronto.